Cruise news. Mexico has had an uptick in violence in tourist areas, and the U.S. has issued a travel alert. I'm going to get you the information that you need to know. Plus, sentencing is beginning in regards to a tragedy that took the lives of 22 people, most who were cruise passengers on a Royal Caribbean ship. And we're going to share with you the top 10 cruise news updates from across the cruise industry, and I'm going to get you the information fast, coming up. Welcome to the Travel Scouts. My name is Jason and we are your cruise information channel. We get you the cruise news and information you're looking for quickly without wasting your time. So if you love cruising, consider subscribing. Let's go ahead and kick things off with number 1. Royal Caribbean has canceled the inaugural sailing for their Star of the Seas cruise ship. The Star of the Seas will be the sister ship of the recently launched Icon of the Seas. The launch of the ship was scheduled for August 17th of 2025. However, in a letter to booked passengers, Royal Caribbean noted that the ship's delivery will now be delayed due to the remaining work left to be done on the ship. The new inaugural sailing date has been moved to August 31st of 2025. Number 2, sentencing is beginning in New Zealand for a tragedy that took the lives of 22 people back in December of 2019. Most of those who died were passengers from Royal Caribbean's Ovation of the Seas cruise ship. They were on an excursion to White Island to see a volcano. The volcano then erupted, killing 22 and injuring others. Sentencing is set to take place this week. If the judge hands down the full fine, each tour company that was involved will have to pay the equivalent of $900,000 US. Tourists have not been permitted to return to White Island since this tragedy occurred. Moving on to number 3, Virgin Voyages has announced a new partnership that they say will give them the fastest internet connectivity at sea. The partnership will combine medium Earth orbit satellites with Starlink's low Earth orbit satellites. Starlink by itself delivers internet speeds up to 220 megabytes per second. The new partnership can multiply that speed more than 6 times, up to 1.5 gigabytes per second. Virgin Voyages did not provide a clear date regarding when this could be expected on their ships. Next, for insight into how cruise companies are doing, number 4, Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings has given a business update for 2023 and 2024. Norwegian announced that they have returned to full-year profitability for the first time since 2019. For the full year of 2023, they recorded a net income of $166 million. However, their current total net debt sits at $13.7 billion, so they still have a big hole to climb out of. Norwegian noted that for 2024, they currently have a record number of bookings, and those bookings have been at record prices. They project 2024 to be booked at 105% of double occupancy levels. Then number 5, Holland America has announced their world cruise for 2026. The cruise will take place with the Volendam cruise ship. The 132-day cruise will depart from Fort Lauderdale, and it will visit all 7 continents, 39 countries, and 47 ports of call. You can expect cruise fare prices to start around $26,000 per person. Okay, we have 5 cruise news pieces remaining, including the top headlines of the day, but quick question, chime in down below. Speaking of this world cruise, it got me to thinking about long cruises, and here's my question for you today. What is the maximum number of days that you would typically want to spend on a cruise? Maybe you want to get back for church, or you have other groups or clubs that you're part of, kids, grandkids, that sort of thing. Looking for the maximum number of days for the typical cruise that you would want? Chime in down below, but now on with the cruise news. Number 6, Virgin Voyages has announced that they will not be sending a cruise ship back to Australia and New Zealand for the winter of 2024 going into 2025. A repositioning of the Resilient Lady cruise ship from Europe back to Australia would typically involve a transit through the Red Sea. However, Virgin Voyages said in a statement, quote, "Based on the regional and government advice received, we remain very concerned about potential escalations in the Red Sea over the next 12 months. They said they were left with no choice but to cancel due to the unacceptable risk for safe passage through the region. Virgin Voyages will instead be repositioning the Resilient Lady cruise ship to start sailing in the Caribbean beginning in October of this year. Number 7, Royal Caribbean has released its deployment plans for the 2025-2026 Caribbean short cruise market and the Los Angeles market. Royal Caribbean has confirmed that the Navigator of the Seas and the Quantum of the Seas cruise ships will both be sailing from Los Angeles in 2025 and 2026. However, the biggest news regards their announcement regarding their ships that will be transitioning to do short cruises. Royal Caribbean has announced that their massive Wonder of the Seas cruise ship would be repositioning to Miami. It will begin doing 3- and 4-night cruises from Miami starting on September 1st, 2025. Meanwhile, their new 𝗙𝗵𝗋𝗃 cruise ship will continue offering short cruises from Port Canaveral. It seems clear that Royal Caribbean wants to own the short cruise market. All 6 of the cruise ships on the screen right now will be offering some sort of short cruise under 7 days in 2025. And if you want to check it out, the short sailings for these cruise ships are now open for booking on the Royal Caribbean website. Moving on to number 8, the Norwegian Dawn cruise ship was released from quarantine on the East Africa island of Mauritius. After a small number reported stomach-related illness on board, the local authorities in Mauritius required the cruise ship to await test results before they can disembark passengers and begin the next cruise. USA Today journalists on the ground were informed that the illness was potentially cholera. However, the test results are back and no trace of cholera was found. The Norwegian Dawn cruise ship was released to continue operations early on Tuesday morning. Next, number 9, Holland America is adding a new game show to their entertainment lineup. Their passengers will now have the opportunity to participate in the Deal or No Deal game show. The game show is popular on cruises and is currently on 85 cruise ships worldwide. Holland America has added the show to 9 of their 11 ships. Then number 10, Mexico has had an uptick in violence in tourist areas and the U.S. has issued a travel alert. The U.S. Embassy in Mexico has issued an alert as spring break approaches and an influx of travelers to Mexico is expected. In recent weeks, there's been an increased amount of drug cartel activity in the Mexican state of Quintana Roo. This state includes the cruise ports of Cozumel and Costa Maya. And here's a quick rundown of some of the violent activity. A few weeks ago, a U.S. woman was caught in the crossfire and killed after a drug deal went bad at a beach resort in Tulum. Then there was another incident where warring cartel members macheted multiple people to death in Cancun. Then in Cozumel, there are reports of street shootings and publicly hung threat messages around the town. The key here is the same as with any time when I relay these travel warnings and alerts. It does not mean to not go. It does mean to be aware of the situation in the places you are visiting. The advisories and alerts issued by the U.S. State Department are quite extensive. But I want to quickly share with you 3 things to tuck away. Number 1, they say you should stay away from anything involving drugs, to include legally purchased things from pharmacies. Number 2, they say to be extra vigilant, especially if you're in a downtown or urban area. That is where the drug cartels are more active. And then number 3, always stay with a group of friends. Okay, subscribe and turn the notification bell on to stay up to date with the latest cruise news and information. The next video will be coming out soon, but until then, keep on cruising and we'll catch you in the next video.